Welcome. Thursday night, Michael Cole live in search of awesomeness. And I have some awesomeness, awesome sauce for you tonight. My friend Sarah Cooper is my special guest on episode 262. That's how long we've been out in search of people that are really innovating and at the head of the curve. I consider Sarah, she's a friend. I've watched her grow. She is a digital marketing and branding, has become a digital marketing and branding salon owner, Jedi, amongst other things. She is the owner of Paradigm Salon and Company, Bel Air, Maryland. And her summit coach is Kirsten Niemer, who is one of my faves in the whole wide world. Let me tell you why I invited Sarah tonight. Her numbers have been extraordinary. So consistent, got through COVID. What I don't have for you is that if the next 4 months, 5 months are like the previous, that number, go ahead and multiply that times 2. And that's where she's going to be headed in 2021. I would say that's off the charts, blowing it up. As soon as we're done, I'm gonna give. I think I'll email Guinness Book of World Records and get her in the record book because that's off the charts. But no, wait, there's more. Look at the average ticket in the salon's $115, and when you look at the base price of a haircut at $43, so there's almost three times. The average ticket is almost 3 times the base service. In Summit speak, you know what that means. You know that these guests are very, very involved in services that go beyond a service or a core service. But look at the referral, 15%, salon new, 28%. These are two numbers. If you're from Summit community, you know, when you add these two numbers, typically in a Summit salon, you're lucky if you see 11, 12%. You don't see 11, 12% here. You add the two numbers, and I think you're 40 plus. And that is because of what's going on with her in Google and reviews and her blogs and her website and her social media presence. I know that she's doing business with my friend Lucas Renfro in his community. I know she's under the tutorage of Kim Light Pearson. I'm going to let her tell you all about that. But these are what I would call process goals. You got to hit these in order for you to double these. So it's really she's very on point. Rebooking at 63%. Her story is amazing. I'm not going to take anything away from it. But in a nutshell, grad high school in '05, hair school in '08, opens the salon in 2016, which is in that same year attended Summit, and the rest is history. Listen, if you don't follow her on Instagram, you need to. At Paradigm Salon Company. Many of you are going to be reaching out to her because in addition to all of this, she is a Summit coach. I'm going to say that again. She is a Summit Salon coach. So if I'm you, knowing what I know, and you're in the $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 sales range, and your dream is to get to $1 million, I would say she's your Huckleberry on steroids. So we'll talk more about that in a second. She's in my green room now. I'm going to go and get her chatting about the story, and I'm going to see how much of her secret sauce we can steal tonight. So hang on, and let's say a little prayer that the Wi-Fi gods are going to be nice to us tonight. She's right there. I'm going to unmute my friend Sarah. We're going to hit the round of applause to make her feel welcome. And good to have you.
Hi.
How
it's
are
great
you?
to be here. I'm great. How are you?
Good. You look fabulous.
Oh, thanks.
So you were in the green room and you heard me kind of chatting about you. You and I have a few years under our belt together. It's been fun to watch and inspiring to watch you evolve. So kudos to you and thank you for coming on tonight and spending a few minutes with us.
Thanks so much for that. Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, you know how we roll. We always like to start with the story, Sarah, because it gives us all an appreciation of where you've been. and where you're at and how you got to where you're at, and then of course where you're going. So get us started. Who are you, and what was it like for you before it became what it is now?
Yeah, I was really lucky. I've been a stylist for 14 years. We're in almost our fifth year of business, and it's been a really interesting journey so far. It's always super challenging and wonderful. And I think having the willingness to grow and grow a team and make sure that they're living the best life that they can live is has been super fun.
And when you and I were chatting, and when we were chatting, you were talking about, like prior to Summit, you got too busy, 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 and you got so busy behind the chair you weren't able to really, stay close to the team. Talk about that part of the story because I find that to be so classic.
Yeah, when we opened, it was a lot of me doing a lot of the work behind the chairs. So I was hiring and trying to grow team members, but I couldn't dedicate enough time to them because I was kind of chained to my chair. I was too busy, so that meant I was kind of holding on to team members that weren't necessarily the best fit for us. So I needed to figure out a way that I could grow my business so that I could attract the right team members, and I think we did it. I think we
Yeah.
got it.
Well, I think the on ramp was Summit, but then something happened. I remember you and I were kind of reminiscing about that tonight before we went live. That I don't know, 2017-ish or whatever. There was just slight but profound iteration that kind of got you to be as skillful in the, we'll call it the marketing, digital marketing and branding, Google slash website. What was that point? Because to me, that looked like a major pivot.
Yeah, it was really instrumental. Definitely reading and absorbing as much information as I could. And I think we had an opportunity to connect, and you introduced me to Kim Lake Pearson, who is part of your summit community. And she really helped kind of introduce me to the idea of like SEO, Google My Business, all of those things that I could figure out on my own that didn't necessarily cost me a lot of money, but drove me to a really great return. She kind of made me a little bit dangerous because I knew just enough information
Right.
to really start making things move.
Yeah, and I remember kind of you and I having that chat in 2017. The years go by very quickly, but you had kind of fallen off my radar, and all of a sudden you're showing up on it big time. Now I don't know why, but today, I posted that we would be chatting tonight, and Lucas Renfro posted something on my feed and said he was really stoked because he considers you a part of his community as well. Catch me up on that piece because for whatever reasons I missed that piece.
Yeah, so we started working with Lucas last July, right after kind of we reopened with COVID. And that had been, since working with Lucas, it took what I already had in place and then he just added to it. And it has kind of, our business has exploded and it's wonderful.
Okay, so really, last year when you plug into Lucas, it's like nitroglycerin on the bonfire. So part of the doubling of the business this year is in some degree part of the relationship that you have with him and his community.
Absolutely.
Oh wow, I didn't have that piece, man. Am I glad I asked? I asked. So you're there, you've got some really cool stuff that in store for where do we go from here? That you last time I looked, we were this, and now you're a part of the Summit faculty. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I love to talk about, growing people, growing people's businesses, stylists, allowing them to live the life that they really want to live. And becoming a coach has really been an amazing opportunity to help our industry, especially during kind of a crazy time like we have right now. But ultimately, like growing my team and growing humans is what I'm all about, and what I want to do.
So you now it's time for you to pass on what's working for you, and when I really kind of look at where you're at, you doubled your size this year. So you go from 3.5. It looks like you're trending to hit around 7. And so you're moving towards 7 figures at like Mach 5. So knowing what I know, if I'm a Summit salon owner or new to the Summit, you would be definitely someone that I'd want to have a conversation with in terms of, who is going to be the coach that's going to kind of take me to the land of milk and honey. So I wanted to get that out of the way. Now I want to spend some time with you talking about your secret sauce. So when you lay out your table of favorite best practices that are really kind of driving your biz, what would be one or two that you would say, no, this is definitely, if I'm a viewer tonight, this is something I'd be definitely would be on my radar.
Yeah, really utilizing every piece that you can of Google My Business, from getting reviews from your guests, from making sure your entire profile is completely filled out, even the product section, updating your feed, because there's a little feed with inside Google My Business, kind of turning it into what might be now like a different Instagram feed for you or something like that. Making sure all of that stuff is current and up to date, as well as like making sure that your website is new, all of your click paths work. So like your Instagram, your website to your Google, everything is kind of clickable and shareable. In addition to that, online booking has been tremendous for us, especially when we're trying to gain new guests and new traffic coming into our website. Last month, 30% of our online bookings were all new guests.
Say that one again. What percent of your new bookings?
30%
Oh,
of all of
wow.
our online bookings were new guests.
And you're running, when you look at your referral and your new, you got about 40% of your business is new. And if I'm doing the math right, you're saying about a third of that came in online booking.
Yeah.
I'm actually, what I was doing while you were chatting is kind of going to your space to kind of look. It's been about 2 or 3 days since I looked at it, and now that you've got us talking, it's almost like I really want to. What I heard you say is, we got to page one because there are these features on the Google Your Business platform, and we're taking advantage of all of them. And if I didn't know how to take advantage of a feature, I'm going to have a conversation with a Kim Light Pearson, or I'm going to do a Google YouTube, and I'm going to get all those loose ends tied down. And it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're placing new content on that platform regularly. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And then talk about how you incentivize guests or encourage guests to submit reviews.
So through our booking software, they send a prompt, and that has grown our reviews. We started at the end of June. It's the middle of August right now. We have 56 more reviews than we had in June.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking right now. You are number one. I'm going to put this up so that people can see that I'm not lying. The number one on page one with your over 100 reviews, and you're ranking at 4.9. And then it looks like I'm looking, make an appointment. So I can make an appointment right from your Google page. What point of sale system are you using?
We use Forest.
Okay, so Forest has some ways of, so they have a portal. I think you're using the Forest online booking system that's wired into your Google platform, yes?
Yes.
And so, and to encourage the guest to submit a review, give me that one again. How are you raising that mindfulness to get guests to take advantage of that opportunity?
Yeah, so after their service, our system prompts them if they would like to leave us a review. It puts it in our system, and then it sends them another prompt if they'd like to submit it onto Google. And we're so grateful
I
that
see. And that prompt, is that on Forest's platform?
Yeah.
I get it. So the what's automated is a feature that you every new guest that you serve gets a prompt inviting them to submit a review, and as a result of that, you're able to get your reviews because that's a driver in there. I'm curious about who, like, you see me kind of scrolling here on your content on the scroll, the picture feature. Who handles that for you? Where'd that content come from? Who places it? Who keeps it fresh?
I take that from our Instagram and I place it onto Google from there.
I see. So you'll take it literally your latest greatest content off Instagram and place it on Google. Then when I scroll up, you have it's almost like there's a highlight feature now on Google. Who manages that, and how often do you update that?
So that's Google just pulling our pictures and creating that for us.
Really? So
Yeah,
Google, and where does Google grab that content from?
from our gallery where we upload photos.
Got it. So they go into when you say where I'm seeing, if I hit photos,
Yep.
right? I just see a lot of your work here, and so their bots go into this, and then are able to um, upload and put that content on your highlights, huh?
Yeah.
Wowza! I mean, this is amazing. I'm getting kind of mesmerized as I as I look at this. So, how about your website? Who designed that for you? That's Lucas's work.
Yep, that's Lucas. Lucas and his team helps us keep it current on any kind of weird requests where I'm like, we need to step out our keywords and certain items. They make all the adjustments for us and maintain it.
Um, and how does that work with Lucas? So that is it. He builds it and then to host it on the back end. So that commitment to him, that investment, is what keeps your website fresh.
Yes.
Got it. Got it. So now take me to your. As I looked on your website, I can that I've got online booking, but also I can get from your site to your Instagram pages. Like who's doing that work for you?
Yeah, that's Lucas making sure that all of our buttons work and they go to the right spot.
But when I get to your Instagram pages,
Yeah.
who places content and manages that? Is that Lucas as well?
No, that's a different company that does that for us.
Okay, so is that a third party, or is that something that you're doing inside, doing internally?
Nope, it's a different company now. We actually just switched in the last like 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
So you really have third party companies helping you, supporting your social, it is really social digital marketing branding presence, and so that when I look at 40% of your business new, I know that large in part is the investment that you're making in these companies, correct?
Yes.
So it sounds like it's all working for you.
Yeah, it is working. It's great. My team is super busy and we're doing wonderful.
How many how big is your team?
Right now we're 13.
So they're aware of the conversation that you and I are having, because they're large in part beneficiaries. There's got to be a lot of new business for your team members. It doesn't look to me like there's a lot of sitting around waiting for business that you're able to, I'm going to call it, seed their soil from what you're making happen in on digital.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I, I can only imagine, but I don't want to be presumptuous. How does that implicate or help you with regard to recruiting and hiring new people, associates, etc.? I want to get you talking about that a little bit.
Yeah, so especially being more visible on Google, it's allowed us to recruit better team members, meaning like the quality of hires that we're making are really allowing us to take advantage of all of the new guests that we have. So whether they're an established stylist already or they're new students coming directly from, hair school and coming into our associate program, all of the success that we've had and with Google has helped us, one, retain all of them, attract new talent to us, and we can grow their business really fast. I had a team member who jumped in almost less than a year, and she started with us just after COVID.
Yes. Well, here's what I'm hearing when I'm interviewing new people in the salon. They kind of like blew through the associate program. They're blowing through the charts, and well, how long have you been? I'll say, yeah, at Paradigm. Well, a year, 18 months. Like, where are you from? Omaha, Nebraska. Well, how in the world did you end up in Maryland? Well, I wanted to do ABC. So how did you find out about Paradigm? Well, I just Googled top salons in the area, and they were the first that showed up. So I figured, whoa, I'm going to, and so it's like, wow, that's unprecedented. 3, 4, 5 years ago, however stylists would make a selection on do I or do I not want to, take advantage of an opportunity to be interviewed for the salon. Google wasn't in the equation. Now it is, and your presence on Google matters in terms of getting candidates. I mean, do you find that to be true?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then what I did is I went to your, one of the things I love about Lucas's websites is it's object-oriented content, meaning that it's an object. There's not text. So I see a box that says book now, right? I see a box that says gift certificates. I see a box that says gallery, services, and like it's a user-friendly experience. I'm not asking myself questions like, what's this? Right? And I hit the feature and it takes me there. And it's interesting because your Instagram icon, anywhere I go on your homepage, your Instagram icon follows me. And now I'm on your Instagram page. So everything is linked from Google to website to Instagram. It's integrated, and you're saying that you really, it's the relationships you have with these companies that this now has become a system in your best practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, and I'm actually crawling your digital space as I'm talking to you. And what's interesting about this is even when I'm looking at the content on your pages, that when I see some work and I touch it, it brings me to people that are actually doing the work where I can see their content as well. So everything is thought out, everything is integrated, and I now, by doing that, it's not a mystery why your new business ratios are going off the charts.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So that comes along on the digital marketing and branding. What else do you have cooking in your culture or PDMs or what have you that you would say that, because that's about marketing's marketing, but the leadership culture PDM piece, what's cooking there that keeps your people turned on?
We really try to focus on, especially in PDMs, like what they want. And sometimes it's hard because the majority of my team is under 25.
Yes.
So they're still kind of figuring it out, what they want to do. I think always being a resource of what's available and what's possible, and always asking the question, what's important to you? What's going to make you feel like you're living your best life? And how can I help you? Because really, I'm just here to facilitate all the great things in their life and to help them and coach them get to where they want to be.
Yeah, I mean, you said some interesting things. First, you're saying my team is 25 or younger.
Most of them, yeah.
and now we know what I'm finding out is that this newest genre called Z as in Zennial, which is different than M as in millennial. I mean, the narrative for the last several years is millennial, which is great. But now there's this new community called Zennial. or Gen Z, and you're saying that part of it in the PDM, you through working with them, help them to get clarity. So it would be absolutely normal for somebody that's 25, 24, 23 to be unclear. I mean, they're on the front end of getting their life, and a PDM helps them to let's find a life that's going to work for you. And money is part of that. Do you like you're doubling your business this year? Do some of your people how is that going to implicate their W-2s? Where are your, we'll call it your higher W-2 people? Where are they trending this year?
I have a couple of them. I know one of them has grown her business 100% from July of last year to July of this year. So there's some really interesting things going to happen for some of them, and they're
So give me, let's use that one as an example. So
sure.
if on a trajectory, what if they continue to go this year, where does that W-2 land? And we know that wherever that is, it was half of that last year.
Yeah. So one of my team members that we're talking about in particular, her W-2 last year was just over 34. Her W-2 this year, probably closer to 70.
Wow. And how old is she?
She's 22.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, you think about that in your second full, your second full year, you're at 70. So yeah, at 22. So there's a lot going on in this person now, and you're helping them to get clear. One of the things I'm finding, I continue to hear people say, my people are in essence blowing the charts. So they're at a level, but when you look at their average day, that number is at a level one or two levels ahead of them. And so, how you handle that can make the difference of somebody being motivated versus I quit, I'm out of here. Are you finding that that's a part of the role as well, as that you need to stay on top of how quickly they're building their average day?
Yeah, I think we are a little bit competitive. So I'm always like, come on, guys, you can beat me, come beat my day. And some of my younger stylists are really starting to catch up with myself and some of my team members that have been there a long time. And I think we make it fun and keep it playful and really try to encourage all of us just to do the absolute best we can.
Yeah. Well, as I'm talking to other salon owners like you that are kind of on this rhythm, they're saying, okay, if I have somebody in the first or second level and their average day is $100, $200, $300 higher than it would need to take to qualify, all of a sudden my KPIs are now really more about average service day, average retail, where's the rebook look, and if they're hitting those three, I'm saying fly little birdie fly, and that's working a lot better than whatever the metrics were 3, 4, 5 years ago. Are you finding that to be true?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
really focus on like those 3 points that you mentioned, and I always share with them that the only thing that's holding you back is you.
Well, the last thing I want to just check in with you and then I'm going to begin to wrap it up, is I'm finding that the Generation Z, it's like getting to a high number, and then, gee, I wonder if I can maintain or grow that number, but not necessarily do it inside of the window of times that, like right now, I'm doing 32 hours a week. I'm seeing some people going from 32, 28, 24, but that W-2 continues to grow. And so now it's like I'm having my cake and eating it too. Are you there yet? Are you seeing it? I'd love to get your weigh in on that.
So as our team is growing, as we start adding more stylists, I can definitely see where there would be advantages to someone wanting to work less but still having the great opportunity to make a ton of money with us.
Yeah, and when you look at why, you could do it one or two ways. Why people are staying, employee retention, versus why they're leaving. Yes, I want to make a lot, but I'd like to be able to craft a schedule because my own brand within this brand is so strong, I really do have an opportunity to make that in 24 hours, 22. And I'd like to, boy, that's nirvana. And right, that's heaven on earth. So if you're able to kind of craft that as a leader, I just see that would be that would be I call it making your salon unpoachable. You don't have to worry about the self-employed community uh, dropping proposals on your people, because your people are going, no, you know what, I got it as good or better here than I have out there. I just wanted to see if you're finding that to be true as well.
Yeah, I think the other thing, I know when you spoke to Heather the other night, 401ks are a big thing with matches.
Yes.
It's something that we also do here. And what I like to remind them is I'm contributing a portion to your retirement too. So it's almost like you're earning extra commission
Oh.
that you're going to get in your future.
Yeah. So give us the take. So how does that work? And kudos to you. I mean, I'm just realizing, whoa. That is a major, major, major piece. So how long have you had your 401 in play?
For 3 years.
And how's your match work? What's that? Because you can kind of configure it the way it works, so that it fits with your salon.
Yeah, so we match 3%, the highest that we can contribute. They just have to be at least contributing 3% of their salary as well.
Wow. So on their first three, you match the three. So basically, that's a 100% return on investment before it starts growing.
Exactly.
Right. And I think 401, you can go as high as 15% before you're done. But in that 15%, 3 of those points are paradigm points.
Yes.
Right. So in essence, you if somebody's taking advantage of that, you're making a 20. You're adding 3 more points in that. I think is like 20 more percent to theirs. And do your people understand it enough to have an appreciation for it, or is that part of your education process so that they get it?
Both.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because now once they get it, they're all over it. But
exactly.
it takes an educational initiative, because people can't get motivated on stuff they don't understand. So it really is. Now, do you have those conversations in the PDMs?
It's usually a discussion for team meetings. It's like, hey, you're eligible. Sometimes it's a PDM conversation. Sometimes it's a whole team conversation.
Do you ever bring in the outside, the 401 planning people, the financial planners to augment your education?
No, we haven't yet, but we have plans to do so.
Yeah, no, that's a very, very, very important piece. I see it in other salons where it becomes a rivalry, where somebody finds out, gee, I'm putting in 11% or 12% and getting my match, and so-and-so's been maxing his or hers out at 15. It's like, what? Well, I'm going to do that too. And it almost becomes one more thing, that part of the competitive, healthy competition within the salon. So that's been fun to watch. All right, well, listen, we're out of time, but promise me that you'll come back.
Of course.
Because I think you're just getting warmed up. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to talk to you, especially about what you're doing as a salon owner, and very curious about, if you consult them, can you bring this experience in with the summit model? And I'm assuming they can, that you're open for that conversation. How would they reach out to you?
So you can DM us through our salon Instagram page. You could send me an email to my summit email, which is shooper@summitsalon.com. You can find me on Facebook. You can send me a message there. Anyway they can find me, feel free to reach out.
All right. Well, listen, it was an absolute pleasure chatting with you, my friend. I look forward to having you come back. And we stay in touch with each other. We're on each other's news feed, so there isn't a day that goes by where I'm not looking at something that you're up to. So it's been really fun to get to know you, and I am grateful that I have a friendship with you.
Thanks, MC. It was great. Thanks so much.
All right, say hi to all my homies at Summit. I don't see them anymore. You know, we're all in. I've been in lockdown for 2 years now, and I hate to say this, but I love it because I get to do all my time in here. So tell them I said hi.
I will.
All right, we're gonna give it up for Sarah Hooper one more time, you guys. I love that interview. I loved it a lot. There were just a lot of loose ends, I think, that got tied down in that. I don't know about you, but all of the cylinders she's hitting them. So on the on the digital marketing and branding side, she's hitting Google. She's working with a company that showed her how to get to page one. She has, when you go to her Google presence, taking advantage of all of the features. Her website, done by Lucas Renfro's company, I think it's page one, and a very simply done website, very, very user friendly. Her social media presence on Instagram and how it's power branded, off the charts. So you got that. Then the PDMs and how people are growing quickly. She helps her people get clear, and not only about career pathing, but long-term wealth building. She's got a 401k plan where she's making a 3% match. I think she said she's been doing that for 3 years. So it's not a surprise when I see, she's going to double her sales this year. And when you look at her business, you got about 40% of it is new. So this sounds like it's mysterious, but it's not. It's very strategic. There's a lot of intentionality in it. Simple to understand, not easy to do, only because for some of us, we have to stop doing all the old stuff that used to work but isn't working, so that we have the bandwidth to learn to do the new stuff. And that's what I really hope that you get tonight out of this conversation. Now, if you're new to us, you're watching this on my Facebook Millionaire Stylist page, and I've got a similar page on Instagram. Tonight's interview will be cooked down to probably 10 minutes and placed on my IGTV channel on a micro learning on Michael Cole Millionaire. So make sure that you go there. I need to do a plug on this because we're ready to put a very important piece of content on Summit Salon 365 called Michael Cole Mindfulness Training. The culture in the salon is the result of the collective mindfulness of each individual on the team. So to the degree your people have been trained to be mindful, which is basically learning how to train the mind to change the brain in a way that people show up with having healthy, wealthy, happier experiences, and so that radiates to the guests. That's a whole new conversation that I'm putting on 365. So make sure you're a subscriber on 365. Make sure that you're staying close to Sarah Hooper as well, because she's dipped her people in it big time. If you're new to us, get a virtual consultation with one of our coaches, so that you really see that we can do for you what we've been doing for Sarah, so that you can enjoy it. I got to do a plug on saloncalcs.com. We have now gamified all of our calculators and their compliments. L'Oreal, thank you, L'Oreal. L'Oreal Salon Emotion. We've got something called the Dream Machine Calc. We've got something called the Golden Goose Calc. We've got something called the Debt Free Calc, the Magic Day Calc. And these are all gamifying it to making it fun. So please take advantage of that as well. All right, so thank you, L'Oreal Salon Professional Product Division. Salon Emotion. These are L'Oreal's brands. Please support these brands to the degree that you support them. This is all tonight brought to you compliments of L'Oreal. If L'Oreal was not supporting us with the financial resource that it takes to bring you content like this, it wouldn't happen. So be a part of our community, support their brands, and they've got, in my humble opinion, the best brands in the industry. I mean, Pulp Ride, Pureology, Redken, Shoe, Mazzani, Matrix, L'Oreal Professional, Kerastase, Biolize. Come on, you guys. This is not rocket science. Get involved with this, and if our competitors are ponying up to the bar, if you will, not just with brands, these are great brands, they're world-class brands, but the conversation we just engaged you in, I would call that the content, the profound knowledge, the process, the community. In Marketing 101 school, they would call that highly unique, sustainable value added, point of difference, gift with purchase that's going to blow the sides off of your freaking box and grow your salon at Mach 5. So this conversation, with all due respect, is a no-brainer, especially if you've just had a damn walkout. So if you're using one of our competitors' brand, you don't have to worry about, oh, well, what will my staff think if I go from this brand to L'Oreal? There's no staff. We'll help you to rebuild and grow this so that you don't have to do this again. So please, you're at the holy jumping off place. I love you too much to not say this to you, because I've said this to many salons over the years. They were on their knees. They took the advice, and 3, 4, 5 years later, when they're doing $1 million, $2, $3 million, they'll go, you remember that conversation that we had? That was my wake-up call. That was the pivot. That changed my life. So get on this, you guys. If you're getting your butt kicked, if you're competing with the sweets and they're winning, come hang out with us. We'll show you how to be unpoachable. So enough. I'm going to let you get on with your evening. And thanks for hanging out with us, and stay well.